We are in lesson 13-1. We're going to be talking about area, more specifically in this case, rectangles and squares. We have skipped over the launch problem and we're going right into this key concept.
The area of a figure is the number of square units the figure encloses. To find the area of this rectangle, you can count the number of square units inside the rectangle. This rectangle has a base of 4 units and a height of 2 units. The area of the rectangle is the number of square units it encloses. To find its area, count the number of square units inside the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is 8 square units. But what if you increase the dimensions of the rectangle? This new rectangle has a base of 12 units and a height of 6 units. Now there are way too many squares to count. Look for another way to count the squares. There are a total of 12 columns. And each column has 6 squares. So the area of the rectangle is 12 times 6, or 72 square units. Notice that you just multiplied the base of the rectangle by its height. Base times height is the formula for the area of a rectangle. You can also write the formula as A equals B times H. Common units for base and height are feet, inches, and meters. Common units for area are square feet, square inches, and square meters.
So when we're finding our area, it's very important that your answer is going to be in square feet, square inches, or squared meters. They're not squared when you're just finding the units of the length and the units of the height, or the base and the height, but it is your square units when you're trying to figure out how many squares are within to fill up that whole area.
Which rectangles have an area of 12 square units?
What I have done is I've labeled each picture with a letter, A, B, C, D, E, and F, and I want you to try and tell me if you think that the area is 12 square units. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units for a base and 2. For its height, we can multiply 5 times 2 or just count them. When you count them, you get 10, so the area does not equal 12 square units. When we have our fractions, that's a little bit more difficult, but we did learn how to multiply fractions. We have 2 and 2/3 times 4 1/2 What we have to do is we have to make them into improper fractions. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So I have 8/3 times 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9 plus 9/2. That equals, we multiply straight across. 8 times 9 is 72. 3 times 2 is 6. To get my final answer, simplify how many times does 6 go into 72? If you don't know that off the top of your head, you can do 72 divided by 6. 6 can go into 7. Oops. 6 can go into 7 one time. And you have 1 left over. You drop your 2. 6 can go into 12 2 times. And that is 12. Sorry for my crazy handwriting on this. So I have nothing left over. My answer is 12. So the area for B was 12 square units. For C, we have 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Our next one is another tricky one, so I'll write it out for you. Let me erase this work. So 0.75 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. I could continue with the rest of this problem, but I already know that it's not going to equal 12 because the number 12 does not have a 5 included in it. So you could continue multiplying this out. So I will, but I know already that the answer is not going to be 12 square units. So 9 times 7 is 63 plus 4, 67. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 0 is 0 plus 6 is 6. My decimal point goes over 2. So my answer, 6 75/100, like I said, does not equal 12 square units. For E, hopefully you didn't let all these numbers confuse you. When you add them all together, that's perimeter, but that's not what the question is asking us to do. It simply wants us to do base times height. So 4 times 2 is 8. That is not 12 square units. And last but not least, F, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for our base, and 1, 2 for our height. 6 times 2 is 12 square units. So half of them, A, D, and E, were not equal to 12 square units, and the other half, B, C, and F, were equal to 12 square units. Here's our first got it problem.
What is the area of the basketball court?
The correct answer is C, 3,108 feet squared, or square feet. This squared, the little 2, is very important to your answer. If you want to know how we got this, you can pause the video and read through this answer. Here's our second got it problem.
To find the area of a rectangle, does it matter which side you use as the base and which side you use as the height? Explain.
So you are going to be typing out your answer for me in this Edpuzzle question. Here's an answer that you could have explained. No, it does not matter. Any side can be the base. The height is perpendicular distance between opposite bases. Moving on to part 2, we're going to be talking about squares instead of rectangles.
A square is a special type of rectangle. Because the base and height of a square are the same, you can find the area of a square by using the formula A equals S squared, where A represents the area and S represents the side length. The area of a rectangle equals its base times its height. Suppose you have a square. A square is a special type of rectangle. The base and height of a square are the same. It is common to refer to the side length of a square as S. So the formula for the area of a square equals the side length squared.
So again, when something is squared, that means you're taking the number times itself. So when I have my base times height, I'm taking my side lengths, which are the same measurement. So side length times my side length. I can write it as S squared, just to write it more simplified.
The booklet in a CD case is a square with side length 4 and 72/100 inches. What is the area of the booklet? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth.
So one thing that's important for you to remember is side length is the same on all sides for a square. So your 4 and 72/100 is not only the size of your base, but it's also the size of your height. I now want you to try and find the answer of the area of this CD case, and then we will check it together. All right, so here's how you get the area. You have your 4 and 72/100 squared because you're taking 4 and 72/100 times 4 and 72/100. You're going to get this big number right here. That's 22 and 2,784 10,000ths. And it says round to the nearest hundredth. Since the 8 is greater than 5, you round that 7 up. So your final answer is 22 and 28/100 squared inches.
What is the area of the square clock?
The correct answer is D, 169 squared inches. And here's how you get the solution. Now we're in part 3.
The area of a rectangular carpet is 54 square feet. The carpet is 9 feet long. How wide is the carpet?
I do not know the height of the carpet, and when we do area, it's 9, our base, times our height is going to give you your answer for area. I do know that the area is 54 feet squared, so I'm going to write my 54 here. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve this problem for h. 9 times h equals 54. So what times 9 will give me 54? Or I can say I'm multiplying h by 9, so I have to divide by 9. And if I divide by 9 on one side, I have to do that to the other side. So it's like our balance scales. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. 9 divided by 9 is 1, so you just have your h equals 54 divided by 9 is 6. So I know that the height of this is going to be 6. Last got it problem we're going to do.
A rectangular tabletop has an area of 28 square feet. The tabletop is 3 1/2 feet wide. How long is the tabletop?
The correct answer is A, 8 feet. And here's how we get it. You can pause the video to go through this. We're not doing that last got it problem, so that's all I got for you.